Welcome back to the Rise Station podcast. I'm your host, Pernella Harris, licensed mental health provider, bringing you wellness tips and mental health education. The Rise Station podcast is established to bring hope and healing to people who are in a dark space. I provide weekly wellness tips and mental health education. If that sounds good to you, then join me for a new episode every Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I upload a new episode. Please go ahead and share this podcast out to friends and family, those who you think would benefit from the information that we're sharing here. Today, we are talking with a very special guest about mentorship. My special guest is Gordon Palmer. Gordon Palmer is a life coach of teens and also an assistant principal and assistant pastor. Gordon holds a master's degree in social work and education leadership and staff development. He belongs to a number of community organizations. Currently, Gordon Palmer is the co-district liaison for My Brother's Keeper for the last 6 years. I can't wait to introduce you all to Gordon Palmer. Okay, well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So you brought this project to me a few months ago about wanting to really get a hold of our minority youth and do a mentor program, which I absolutely love for young men. Why is mentorship so important to you?
Mentorship is important because you want to be able to have young men, young black and brown men, to be able to have a guide, to be able to understand that whatever pitfalls, whatever traps that may surround them now, that there's always a way out. Just a lot of times you don't have male figures in young men's lives. So therefore, hopefully I can be able to help at least fill that void and to be able to coach these young men on how to move forward, how to progress into living their best life.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very much needed as well. So who in your life made an invaluable impact? Who was one of those mentors for you?
Right. So when I'm always asked this question, I speak of men of committee, but the one man that stands out in my mind when I was a youngster was the late Carrie McMillan, or, in commercial language, we may say Makaru, which means simply he's an ancestor now. And Carrie McMillan really taught me the foundational pieces on what it meant to be a man, simply by sitting down at the dinner table with his family, being able to make a decision and stand on it, and being able to simply understand what hard work looks like and what it is to love your family unconditionally. Mm-hmm. And that went a long way with me.
Those are much needed values that I don't think a lot of people have the access to. Because a lot of times you have, in our community, you have single parent homes. I know I grew up in a single parent household, and those lessons weren't taught. I had to figure it out. So
absolutely.
That's amazing that you have that mentorship. Next question. Why did you choose to become a mentor?
Why did I choose to become a mentor? I chose to become a mentor because I knew that the way people were able to give to me in terms of guidance, in terms of values, that I can be able to do the same. I was in a situation where I just didn't like what I saw when it came to our young brothers and the lack of direction that was given to them. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and simply help out where I could, whether that was on the job or part of my free time or simply just giving advice to a young brother. That was very important to me, so that went a long way, and it fueled the fire for me to be able to now start this program here with you.
Yeah. So if it's not there, you create it. And I love that. Like, if what you needed hasn't been there or isn't there, or the kids are suffering, I guess, from your schooling, or where did you see these?
As early as me going off to college. Okay. And, and having the mindset then to say, okay, well, you know what, I'm graduating, but I looked at all, the young brothers that I left behind, of course, going to school, kids that were behind me. I said, man, maybe one day I could be able to come back and give them the advice that, that was given to me, or I can show them the pitfalls, the trappings, of society, and how to be able to stay the course when it seems as if, nothing's working for you.
Okay, I like that. For those of you who are listening to us right now, what piece of advice, what's 3 things that you would give them in order to come out of a dark place or come out of that stuck thinking so that they can begin to have the life that they desire to have?
Oh, that's a great question. So 3 things that I would think about. The first thing is that you are enough. To be able to believe in who you are, what you can do, and to build that confidence to be able to go out and be who you want to be. Also, support. Oftentimes, we are in a storm and we feel that, we're walking in the rain alone. There's no umbrella. There's no one around us to help. But sometimes it just takes simple asking, hey, can you help me? Are you in a situation where, I just need some guidance? There's nothing wrong with speaking up for yourself and for your needs.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would say the last thing would be trust. Trust not only in the people around you, but trust in yourself. Trust in yourself, because understanding that in life, people throw you curveballs, things happen, but you have to be able to trust that you can be able to, maneuver a situation and move forward, with the positive mindset that you can overcome any obstacles that may come your way.
Wow, those are, as you were saying them, those are great tools, because that's the reason most men or young boys struggle with that, is because a lot of those tools require you to be vulnerable. It requires you to not put on that masculine mask of be strong, don't cry. Mm-hmm. It's like if I ask for help, I might be viewed as weak. If I don't show confidence all the time, then people are going to think I'm a punk or I'm weak. So the fact that you advise that hey, no, sit there in that, and really that's where you build from.
Right.
That's amazing. And it's amazing that we have men teaching other men that it's okay to fully embrace all of who you are.
Absolutely.
And not cut off pieces of yourself. So I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see how this transforms other lives. I think it's going to be a great program. Tell us a little bit about your approach, some of the things you're looking forward to in your work. Mentorship program starts to evolve.
Great. So the approach that I'm looking for pretty much is an approach that's based in love, based in respect and self-esteem and self-confidence. What I would like to first do with every session is to be able to check in. We have to be able to understand and hear and listen to the problems that our young men are facing, and simply asking, how are you doing today? That's the first thing that, we would do. And of course, everybody would have their chance to speak. From there, we would give a topic. There's a topic of the day that we would talk about that I would introduce. It could be anything from, from law, from, police brutality, learning how to tie a tie, simply loving yourself, just these different things that young brothers encounter on a daily basis that they don't have time to speak about, and to be able to address those in our meeting. And we would normally go into some sort of activity that will help address that particular issue. Okay, so for instance, if it's learning how to tie a tie, we would learn how to tie a tie. But tying a tie, what does dress for success mean? What does it mean to be able to walk into a place of employment looking for a job and to have the confidence that you need? Well, a lot of it is based on how you present yourself and how you tie your tie. And then, of course, we would maybe look into doing a closeout. And the closeout was simply comprised of talking to the young men, asking them what they received from the lesson that day and how they can use that to put into their arsenal of what? Self-respect, of self-confidence, of self-love, so they can be able to meet the trials of the day.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. I think that a lot of young men are going to benefit from this. So thank you so much for getting that out there. And thanks for joining me on this podcast. So our first group is going to be held on May 18th. We will be doing this monthly. So in order for you to get involved, what you would do is you would go to our website and you would request a call, and then our administrative team will get you all set up so that you can go ahead and enroll in this group. Thank you so much, Gordon, for your time. I appreciate everything you're doing, and I appreciate the willingness to serve our community. So thank you.
Glad to be here. Asante Sana.
Thank you. All right, guys, take care.